Hi, Adiash73 here with part 8 of the Crash Time walkthrough.
Go back up.
This covers missions 5 through to 9 on case 3, a series of accidents, and we're straight into mission 5 now. So the time constraint on this one is pretty tight considering what you've got to do. You need to pass through all the checkpoints, make your way up through to the top of the car park building, and then do a couple of jumps, and it's on the jumps themselves that you might find that you make a few mistakes. I needed to retry this mission a couple of times, primarily down to the jump-in section at the top, which we'll get to in the footage in a bit. A couple of times I came up short, a couple of times I overshot, so it is important when we get up to the top and we're approaching the jump section that you hit the green speed indicator that's on the speedo pretty much perfectly. So we're through the car park now. We need to get through to that next blue checkpoint and then line up for the jump. So a tad over the speed, then brake straight away, otherwise you'll fly off the end. And this bit here, I make it onto the autobahn. Okay, one time I ended up overshooting and ending up between the two autobahn sections on the left hand side. But once you're there, you can fire off a bit of boost just to get yourself back up to speed and just get yourself through the two remaining checkpoints. Black tire marks there indicate where I got to on a previous attempt. There we are, and just make sure, as always, to stop in the red circle. Here we are, we're into mission 6 of a series of accidents. This one's a very straightforward race. You've got the white route indicator showing in the top right, just a case of following the road that's shown and getting to the end. A little bit messy there, a little bit clumsy, but nothing too much to worry about. You'll get familiar with this section of road. There are a few missions that use this sort of hairpin section. Again, another crash. As I've said in the previous walkthroughs, you will see me crashing quite often. Just over halfway through this race now. There's not a great deal to do apart from try and keep it as clean as possible. You've seen I've had a few crashes already, but the main thing is that I didn't lose too much speed. Yeah, that's probably not the best technique, but it worked. I was still able to keep some speed up. I wasn't on the road itself, but I was still able to get back onto the main section of the road, so it was good enough. I was able to complete the mission on this attempt. That's why this footage has made it through into this walkthrough. As with all the walkthroughs, if you don't need to see the footage for this particular mission, you can skip through by going to the description shown on the YouTube page, and there you'll be able to jump through to the missions that you may be stuck on. So we've caught up to the vehicle now. Just a case of now getting him to stop for a total of 5 seconds. So you can try various things. You can try the pit maneuver, but I just managed to wedge up in front of him. You can still see his wheels moving, but thankfully I was able to stop him. Here we are, we're into mission 7 of a series of accidents. There's a good opportunity here to unlock the fastest achievement on the screen on the side. I got that from a previous unsuccessful mission. There's also an annotation you can click just if you want to watch that video in full screen. This mission is pretty straightforward. Just got to get to the destination within the required amount of time. Don't get overexcited because you've got the boost bar and you're in the fastest car you've had to race in so far. That little bit extra speed and the fact that the autobahn does seem to be a bit more busy can cause you some problems. Coming to the end now. You don't have a massive amount of time, so do try and keep it clean. And there we are, the target marker, stop inside it and mission over. So now we're into mission 8, the penultimate mission. This one's very straightforward, it's another follow type mission. I did notice that the driver of this vehicle was a little bit tricky. It did take me at least one attempt prior to getting this footage of me passing it successfully. The first attempt it was very clumsy. I drove into him and yeah, game over straight away. You never want to tap them, otherwise that's it, mission fail straight off. Now because you're in the faster car, you're in the Porsche and you've got the boost bar accelerator, you can, you know, let them get a little bit ahead of you, but don't let them get too far ahead, because if you do have any sort of incidents then you will find yourself coming unstuck. Again, as with a lot of these follow missions, you do end up driving across quite a large portion of the world environment. There's never a great deal to do, just try and maintain the distance. Don't let them get too far, don't let them get too close. I always like to keep him around mid-distance so I could generally see where he was going and what he was going to be doing, and if I did have a little knock or a little crash, at least I had a bit of leeway to catch up with him. It's also advisable not to let him get too far away, because in the game you do have the train crossings, the railway crossings, and it is possible to get yourself caught out there. You know, he can go over fine and then all of a sudden a train will come and that will hold you up and that will cost you another retry. It's, you know, not a big deal, but why, you know, repeat missions unnecessarily if you can get them done in one go. As is often the case, when they get onto these sort of wider roads, they can pull out a little bit of a gap, but because you've got that boost and because you're in the fast car, you shouldn't have too many problems. This section we're coming up to can be a little bit tricky. Don't go too fast through it or you could end up getting yourself wedged. So as you come around the corner here, it's possible to clip either of that barrier or that splitter there. And you see coming up to the top, he thinks he's been a little bit tricky here by doubling back. So I'm too busy watching where he's going and not noticing the van. Very clumsy. Thankfully there's not much further to go on this one. Now the route he takes may vary, but the end destination is the same. It's those buildings we're just passing now. There's a whole load of those buildings, but eventually he will turn in. It's just a case of following him round. Very close to the end of the mission now. Very near the end, as soon as he turns around this last building. That's it. So don't worry too much about the too close, because there we are. So now we're into mission 9,
Empty promise.
This is the final mission of a series of accidents, and there's a couple of achievements that you can pick up in addition to completing this mission, and that's clear the drains and fly over. Now the objective of this mission is to catch up to the yellow car and inflict enough damage for him to stop. Now I do that quite quickly, but on the screen on the side you can see a section of this track where you can get into the drains and you can unlock both the clear the drain achievement and the flyover achievement. So on the main screen you're seeing me destroying the vehicle. If you keep racing on the white route that's indicated, if you follow that round you'll come into that drain section and you can just unlock those two achievements. So what I did is on my first playthrough I wasn't as effective at catching up to him and damaging him, and the race went on a little bit longer. On this playthrough I'm focusing more on damaging him quickly, because if he gets through to those drains you're going to find it very difficult, because he tends to get through that drain section very quickly, and then the final stretch of road is very tricky. So essentially keep going around this corner and you'll come to the drains. As you can see, I've stopped him, damaged him out before that section. There we are, 3 achievements for 60G, the achievement pictures, and then we get the case closed screen, and finally the little medal to show the case is wrapped up. As always, I hope you found this walkthrough useful. By all means check out my channel for more walkthroughs, videos, solutions and vlogs. Thanks for watching and listening. Take care and bye bye.